After the dedication of the temple, God appears to Solomon again. He affirms his promises but also warns of the consequences of disobedience. The chapter then describes Solomon's other accomplishments as king, okay? So the first part of this chapter covers God appears to Solomon again. After Solomon finished building the temple in his place, the Lord appears to him second time. The first was in chapter 3, okay? God says, I have heard your prayer and consecrated this temple. My eyes and my heart will always be there. But he warns, if Solomon and Israel walk faithfully, David's dynasty will continue. If they turn to idols, the temple will be destroyed and Israel will become a byword among nations. God makes it clear, the temple is not a guarantee of blessing, obedience is. So Solomon dealt with Hiram. After 20 years of building a temple and palace, Solomon gives Hiram, king of Tyre, 20 towns in Galilee as payment for materials. Hiram visits them and is displeased, calling them the land of Kabul, meaning worthless or God for nothing. This hints at Solomon's questionable decisions. He gives away part of the promised land for political alliances. The third part of this chapter covers Solomon's building projects. Solomon builds or fortifies several key cities: Hazor, Megiddo, and Gezer, important military outspots, store cities, cavalry cities, and cities for chariots. Oh, I spat myself. He conscripts non-Israelite peoples: Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, Jebusites, into forced labor, okay? But Israelites serve as officials and soldiers. Pharaoh's daughter, his wife, moves into her palace, okay? Solomon strengthens the kingdom militarily and economically, but forced labor will later stir resentment, right? The fourth part of this chapter covers temple worship and offerings. 3 times a year, likely Passover, Pentecost, and Tabernacle, Solomon offers sacrifices and burns incense at the temple. He completes the temple service and maintains it faithfully. Despite compromises, Solomon still holds up the temple worship, okay? Solomon fleet, that's the fifth part of this chapter, okay? Solomon builds a fleet of ships at Ezion Geber, near the Red Sea, right? So with Hiram sailors, they sail to Ophir and bring back 420 talents of gold, which is like 16 tons. Solomon expands Israel's trade network internationally, bringing immense wealth. Sorry for that. What are the key lessons from the first King, chapter 9? The first lesson is obedience matters more than buildings. God warns Solomon, the temple itself can't save Israel if they turn to idols. The second lesson is compromise weakens blessing. Solomon's dealt with Hiram and use of forced labor hint at cracks in his reign. Third lesson, God's name among nations is at stake. If Israel falls into sin, even the temple will become a testimony of judgment. Fourth lesson, wisdom brings prosperity, but pride can distort it. Distort it. Trade, wealth, and expansion show blessing, but they also tempt Solomon to trust riches more than God. So God appeared to Solomon, affirming his promise but warning of judgment. If Israel turns away, Solomon's achievements include city fortifications, forced labor, international trade, and great wealth. Yet cracks of compromise began to show beneath the glory, right? So, yeah, in the next chapter, the Queen of Sheba visits Solomon and sees his wisdom and wealth firsthand. So, if you want to continue with this, stick with me because that will be our next episode. And I see you in the next one.